Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
It's like, nah, I'm just playing.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Good morning, good people. I cracked myself. Oh, man. Woo. Hey, look, you got to start your day off with some laughs. You got to start your day off with some laughs. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Texas Family Fitness. Styles P, Freeman Mazda Hyundai, and Worth the Poor. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's 420. I have fun with it. I don't really, get into it for real. But I saw y'all in the chat, and I said, well, let me just switch it up real quick, have a little fun when we came into this intro. If you missed it, just go back. It was a quick little Styles P reference there. But today on the show, we'll do another installment of our weekly interactive mock draft. And over the last few drafts, we've had a theme, per se. We've had a rhyme or reason behind our mock drafts. And last week, it was, what does it look like to trade up, right? Because they talked about trading up. This week, they talk about, well, they as in Stephen Jones, talks about drafting pure. They feel that they can draft BPA. So let's see if we can do a BPA type of mock draft. That's not to say that it will happen, but we'll try to get to that. He also spoke on a lot of other things, and we'll get to that in the roundup, speaking of Kelvin Joseph and the offseason and all types of stuff that the Stephen Jones does. Again, with him, he's kind of turning into Jerry with me. I try to tune it out, but when you cover the Cowboys and they speak and there ain't much going on, you got to kind of see if you can decipher what they mean. And I will say this. One of the things in regards to trading up, I do have an opinion. I do think if you read between the lines, you could kind of sense what they really want to do in this draft. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, that was funny. I'm a nut, man. Y'all know me. I'm silly. Let me get some shout-outs in the building. Ronnie Everett in the building. Brian Bradford, Toxic Tom Downey, Mark Smith, Calvin Jefferson, Derek Fisher, Reek in the building. No Justice. Oh, I like that one. It's a little different. Adam Mack, Cash, Gregory, KHY001, my lady in the building, Michelle, Tino Santiago, C. Burleson. Who else we got here? Big H. What up, man? Gregory, Captain America. What's going on? Over here on Facebook. Nicholas P, Joey, John Garcia, Jason Ted, Chuck P, Matthew, how you doing? MD Andrews jumped up in here. Jeb Newhouse. And look, Toxic already. He's always coming in heavy with it.
Super chat.
Appreciate you with the super chat, Toxic Tom Downey says Sky. Stephen Jones says Super Bowls aren't won in the offseason. Does Catboy know about winning a Super Bowl? Come on. You know dang old well I'm bringing that up in the roundup, right? But more so what he had to say about grabbing guys, being aggressive and things like that. We'll talk about it briefly in this roundup, and we'll try to have some fun on this mock draft. How y'all doing today, though? How y'all doing? I know a lot of people are having a good time today that celebrate 420 the way society seems to celebrate it. When I was a kid, I thought that was cool. Now it's like, I honestly forgot it was 420 in that way until I went on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, yeah. 420. I ain't gonna hold you. When I'm done with this show, I'm gonna run this song back because that song is a good song. I'll just say that. All right, man. Let's get into this roundup before YouTube cancels me or something like that. Y'all know how that go.
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
Ready, Ray.
It's time. It's
420
It is
every day,
time
bro.
for
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, yo, wow, man. Welcome. Gotta get myself together. Woo! This is the morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. We're more than just a fitness club. We provide the tools, support, and resources you need to achieve your goals. Strive for progress, not perfection. Fitness goals are not accomplished with one workout. Progress towards your goals with Texas Family Fitness. Check out any of the 13 different locations in the DFW area or visit TexasFamilyFitness.com. Ah, boy. All right. So Stephen Jones joined 105.3 The Fan yesterday, and he talked about a bunch of stuff. Chief among them was Kelvin Joseph. He was very brief on this, and rightfully so, because the investigation is still ongoing. In fact, that's exactly what he said. The investigation is ongoing. We're waiting to get all of the information. Not really much you can take from that, but if I had to try to decipher something from it, it's that they will make a decision on what to do with Kelvin Joseph at the tail end of all of this in regards to the legal ramifications with Kelvin Joseph. So I don't think they're going to make a move beyond that. And you can argue amongst yourselves about whether they should or they shouldn't wait for the law to handle these things. But that's what I take away from it. They're going to wait to see what's going on with the law, and if he's fine there, they're just going to get past this whole situation with Kelvin Joseph, and hopefully, as a young man, he learns from this situation, and we can move forward. But it's a tough one. He also was asked about the aggressive nature of teams like the Rams going forward in the offseason with high-level players. And this was his response. I'll bring it up here. I'm not even going to let you guys listen. I'll read it to you. Quote, I think if we see the player that makes the difference in terms of whether we're going to win or lose games, then we're all in on stretching in terms of salary cap and making something work. I think at the end of the day, when you look at our team last year, we came up short, blah, 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 blah. He talks about that coming up short stuff. We have to make the decisions in collaboration with our coaching staff, in collaboration with our personnel, and is it good value for your cap? What that does enable you to do, if the right situation comes to you, then you can certainly make the decision. I understand completely that there are situations out there where our fans have thoughts as to where they would be spending the cap dollars. But I like the situation that we're in. I think we've made some really good decisions that I like where we're headed. Boy, I mean, you can go in on that whole entire situation, but how many GMs really say cap that many times in one sentence or one paragraph? It's just mind blowing. This guy in this cap situation here. But when you look around the league, we've talked about this ad nauseum with the whole entire salary cap situation and being aggressive. And then he added to boot, y'all, I don't think you ever win a Super Bowl in the offseason. I think it's a full body of work that you put together over time. Okay. I think we'll be a better team, and I think we can make the next step. You know, shit like that really annoys me because he think I'm boo-boo the fool. Y'all, a lot of y'all out there, no offense to y'all buy into this crap with, oh, there's nothing wrong with the way the Joneses do things. Okay, cool. 26 years, nothing wrong. But don't insult my intelligence, Steven. I can look around the league and see that off seasons have helped teams win the Super Bowl, yeah, or get to the Super Bowl, or have playoff success over a period of time. Because at this point, you, Stephen Jones, shouldn't say a damn thing about Super Bowl. Because you don't know how to get to one. You didn't build those teams in the 90s. If Jerry wanted to come out here and talk about all that crap, listen, Jerry, you did your thing in the 90s. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But Steven, you have no merit to stand on to talk about how a Super Bowl team is built, brother. You ain't been to a championship game in almost 3 decades. And see, that's why I couldn't be the one asking these questions, because you know my follow-up would have been, well, how do you know what it takes to win a Super Bowl? And then I would have listed off all the examples over the last 5 years of teams participating heavily in the offseason via trade, via free agency that have contributed to Super Bowl wins, Super Bowl appearances, and playoff success. And then you know what he would have did? He'd have got Daddy on me, and Daddy would have said,
I don't like your attitude.
They'd have kicked me off the radio station. So, you know, that just, we've talked about this ad nauseum, like I said, but, you know, just don't insult my intelligence. That's all. And I'll get to y'all in the chat in a second. Give me one more.
I won't.
Well, that's not the one I want. We'll wrap up this roundup talking about Stephen Jones on trading up. This is what he had to say. D-line receiver among deepest positions in next week's draft. The team is open-minded about trading up, but it's got to be worth it while players of interest. We also know this draft is probably deeper than it's been in years. If you wanted to take something away from that, and this is what I meant when I opened the show, if you really deep dive into what they've been saying about trading and about the draft in general over the last few weeks, I think it's an indication that they're going to trade back if they do any moving. Because this is the second time now, or third time in totality, I believe, if you include Will McClay, that they've talked about how deep this draft is. When you hear them say, well, this is one of the deepest drafts in years, or usually there's only 160 draftable players, but we've numbered it at 220 or whatever it is. That, to me, is an indication that they're looking to trade back. That doesn't mean trade back in the first round. That could mean trade back in day 2. That could mean trade back day 3, whatever. But I don't see them trading up. Even though we did an exercise about trading up, I don't see them trading up. It's best for a team like this that operates the way they operate to accumulate picks and get as many darts to throw at that board as possible because you need it, flat out. And that was the morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. I got out of there unscathed, I tell you that, because that middle part really ticks me off. In fact, I got my OG B Bird on the horn. Give me a second, OG. Let me get to the chat, see what they're talking about here. Gary Bowman. At this point, I look at Steven and I'm pissed already. Yeah. Ronnie, if Tart makes that interception, we're not even talking about how the Rams use free agency to win. That's false. Are you one of these Stephen Jones disciples? That's false. And if y'all want me to, I can go in on this situation. I've done tons of shows about the success of participating in free agency / trades. Why on earth everyone is just focused, or people like Ronnie are focused on the Rams' success this year is beyond me. They've been successful for the last 5 years doing things the exact opposite of the way Stephen Jones does them. It's not just this year. Well, if he makes a pick, that's silly. You can go to every team that's won the Super Bowl. Well, if they pick up the fumble, or well, if they drop the ball, you can do that with every team, man. If the Cowboys had one more second left, right? If the Dez no catch, we can do this for every single team. That's silly. Okay, cool. You don't want to do it for the Rams. What about the other team that was in the Super Bowl that participated in free agency over the last couple years, huh? What about them? What about the Eagles, who won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback on the back of a bunch of players that they got in free agency and via trade? What about the Bucks, who went out and spent a whole lot of money, right? Went and got Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Gronkowski. Still making trades. The New England Patriots, we talked about this before. Go look at their history. It's not just drafting. They've made a ton of trades, whether it's getting a guy or trading away a guy. They've signed free agents that have helped them win Super Bowls. So spare me if somebody drops a ball, you can do that for every single team. At this point, anybody defending this man, I'm calling them the Stephen Jones disciples. And that's how I know you're new here. If you say, well, the Rams, we wouldn't be talking about the Rams. You're wrong. I've been talking about participating in free agency for a while now. This ain't new. I digress. B Bird, what it is, what it do. How you doing, OG?
I'm doing okay, man. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. So we can just look at the last 2 Super Bowl champs. The reason why they won the Super Bowl is because of free agency, to be honest with you. Tom Brady and Gronk, and I think you mentioned, Antonio Brown. And then you look at last year, the Rams. So they participated heavily in free agency. The Rams really almost discount their draft, to be honest with you. So that's how. And so for Stephen to say that is kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. That is the off season is where people are winning Super Bowls at. And if I would go farther to say that if you really think about it, it's almost similar to what the NBA does. They're not winning with you're gonna get a lot of first round draft picks. That doesn't win you in the NBA. You gotta get stars.
That's
and
true.
The Rams have adopted that policy. And that's what they're doing, basically saying, hey, you keep the draft picks and you keep the ones that, hey, in 3 years this guy's going to be, we're going to get the guy that's ready to go now. We're trying to win now. They're in L.A. It's a competitive market. They can't be there 9-8 or anything like that. They understand that. and they understand to get people to come to that stadium, they got to win them over, and they have an urgency to win up there, which I like, and they're doing it the right way, I think.
Yeah, I said this before, right? You've heard me say this. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. The Cowboys haven't found one. It'd be a different story, right? If we found success, and some people success is, well, the Cowboys won 12 games. B-Bird, I don't know what else to say anymore. If that is success to you, just to get to the playoffs, to lose every year or every other year because they haven't been to back-to-back playoffs in over a decade, then we just have two different versions of what success means. We have two different standards. And if that is your standard, that's cool. That ain't mine. So there's multiple ways to skin this thing. I'm just waiting for the Cowboys to find that way.
Well, Stephen Jones, someone said Stephen Jones doesn't know how to get to win a Super Bowl. Well, he doesn't know how to get to a NFC Championship game. That's my standard, to be honest with you. If you get there, that means that you're close to competing. But he hasn't even gotten the team there. So the Super Bowl, like, he's bought his ticket to go and watch, but beyond that. But I was going to something else in that interview, man, that had me reason why I'm the first caller here. The thing I like about your show and you, man, is that you always say context matter.
Yes.
And for people listening, the thing about context, it means that you have to go deeper into a situation and what the surface is. And so I like that because it calls for some critical thinking, some in-depth thinking, and then you come out with a different answer than maybe everybody else has. And that's why I like your show, man, because you don't just – that's why I always bag on Skip and Shannon, because that's for people that don't want context, or Stephen A, because they don't want context. They just want, clip notes of headlines and arguments.
It's the low-hanging fruit type of thing.
It's a low-hanging fruit, absolutely. So the one here that context matter is that he compared Dorrance Armstrong production to Randy Gregory's production. And he said they was pretty much the same. I don't know if you saw that part of the interview. And to me, and I got to give a shout out to Boss Cowboy, but I think you saw this too around the same time I saw it when he did the breakdown of Dorrance Armstrong sacks versus Randy Gregory sacks. And Dorrance Armstrong sacks, I think all but one, was really was due to other people getting pressure. Sometimes it was Randy getting pressure running them to Dorrance, but Randy's sacks pretty much came from him beating his man in front of him. Dorrance sacks never came from that. So when you say 6 sacks or 6 sacks, context matters when you're talking about the way this guy put pressure on the quarterback versus Dorrance. But for the low-hanging fruit, some guys are like, hey, he's right. Look at the stats. It's different, man. And so, but for somebody in the front office, think about this guy. If that guy is saying that, think about just how much he's not really looking at, what's really going on the field. He's looking at numbers. And so he's not even, what I'm saying, he can't see the difference between a Dorrance Armstrong and a Randy Gregory. Either that or he thinks that we don't know the difference.
No, he can. That was to, pump up his guy and act like, oh, no big deal losing Randy. And I mean, it can end up not being a big deal, but we know he valued Randy more than Dorrance because he offered Randy a $70 million contract. But he can't come out there in the media and act like he doesn't have confidence in Dorrance. That's why I didn't bring it up. I understood what he's trying to say. And like you said, the low-hanging fruit is no context, right? Well, the production, that's what he's hanging on. He's not saying that Gregory and Randy are the same player in the sense of skill. Randy is far and away better than Dorrance Armstrong. And anybody disagrees with that, just throw on the tape. But he brought up production because the regular fan will go put on the stats and say, oh, well, look, he had so many tackles, he had so many sacks, it's close. But in reality, Randy Gregory is much more of an impact type of player. It's not his skill and his talent for Randy. It was him not being available, whether it be hurt, whether it be suspensions, whatever. And they decided to not, deal with the whole clause situation. But if that was the case, Dorrance Armstrong would have got more than 2 years, $13 million, B-Bird. You know what I mean? So he don't really mean he don't really mean he's just as good as Randy Gregory.
So one thing, though, man, is that to me, and like people that don't know football, which I guess if you knew you didn't know it like the Joneses did, to me the free agency route would be the way you would go because it would be more proven, right? Like, hey, let's go get this guy. That guy's good. He's played good for 3 years over there. Hey, let's go sign this guy. Let's sign that guy instead of going into the draft or whatever. But I think what it is that again, they're still trying to prove that they're football guys. They won't admit the fact that they're not, and they don't know stuff. And so that's what keeps them in the free agency game, out of the free agency game. To me, if I didn't know something, I'll be going to get the more proven quantity than to try to speculate on the draft more. So it's kind of weird that they would even go with that, against that philosophy for people that don't really, haven't been successful overall in 26 years.
They say it's a copycat league, right? Are they being so stubborn to not actually copy what the hell's working in this league? Is it an ego thing? Because if it's a copycat league, if I'm them, I'm copying a lot of these teams that have been successful. Instead, we're trying to do it our way or their way, and it hasn't worked.
Well, the thing is, it's always been so it is an ego thing. It's always been that people say that Jerry Jones wants to win, and more than anybody. Well, he wants to win his way more than anybody. He don't want to win with somebody else getting the credit. And Scott, I would say something. I was looking at the three pictures you had up there. The last one of Jerry pointing at the draft board. Do you remember those pictures you had up there just a while ago?
Oh yeah, I actually had it up here in the roundup.
Oh, okay, in the roundup, yeah. So I'm looking at Jerry. I said, that is such a photo op. This dude don't know what the heck he's pointing at up there, man. He went pointing at the board and let somebody take a picture of him and then go publish it somewhere to seem like he's in control, man. But
yeah.
But Scott, look, I'm gonna let you go, man. It's great talking to you. I just wanted to vent a little bit about that Randy Gregory and Doris Armstrong comparison, man. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you, B-Bird. That picture actually, I believe, is from it was leaked. I want to say 2013 or something like that. You can actually see the names on the board. Years ago, one of the first leaks for the Cowboys war room at the time. This was before, they had the videos in the war room and technology and the internet and whatnot. And that was a big deal back then when that picture got leaked. I remember it on, I think Blogging the Boys might have leaked it. Not leaked it, but reported it or whatever. But it was a big deal. Big deal. Hey, Ronnie, if they win the Super Bowl, we having a party, but my guy, you sound like a delusional Cowboy fan. When they win the Super Bowl this year, I'm going to be in these comment sections reminding y'all of all this. See, that's not the type of fan that I really engage with too much. The Skittles and rainbows, or I don't even like the doom and gloom, like, yo, we suck type stuff, because that's not the case. I don't feel like the Cowboys suck. I don't feel like that at all. But I can't talk to a fan that no matter what the Cowboys do, we're the greatest. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Or if they do something good, nope, it doesn't matter. We suck. I'm just waiting for the Cowboys to do these good things so I can get excited about it. If you looked at my shows last year during the offseason, I was happy with some of these guys that they brought in, some of these moves that were being made. Pumped them up. This year, I can't come on here and be fake. As it is right now, it's tough sledding. They got time to keep it moving, but we ain't. I'm not for you, Ronnie. I'm not for you. I'm not coming on here talking about Super Bowl parades in April when this team hasn't done anything to make me believe that. But if you want to be Skittles and rainbows, that's cool. You're not going to like the content when it ain't things that deserve Skittles and rainbows praise. You're not going to like it. So I'm going to be real here. And sometimes real is going to hurt y'all feelings if you're more rah, we're going to win everything. This ain't the show for you, bruh. It ain't. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, what's good with you, Sky? Great show as always.
Thanks, man.
Hey, so I haven't had a chance to call in since the Kelvin Joseph off the field.
Oh yeah, you haven't.
Incident. But I do have a question for you before I kind of touch on that. Did Jerry Jones, when he suggested he was ready to, or he suggested the Cowboys were looking at potentially moving up, was that before the Kelvin Joseph incident, or was that comment made after?
When Jerry said it, it was before. That we knew of. I mean, I don't know if he already knew about that, but that was before.
Okay, all right. Well, then I guess that would make a little bit of sense because I was actually on board with that. But this has been this whole off season has absolutely been a disaster. I mean, you could just go down the list of everything that happened. But
The word I use,
considering
Ronnie,
the
the word I use, Glenn, Ronnie, because I'm talking to him, is embarrassing. It's been embarrassing.
yeah, no, it shows incompetence of a front office. I'm not going to blame the front office with the Kelvin Joseph issue, but what are your thoughts on? I've only been able to watch a couple of shows, but let me just give you my thought. I'm not into calling for people's jobs because I don't really operate in that world. I just don't like to do that because these are people who are trying to support their families. But I think we have to move off of him only because the legal issues aren't over, right? I mean, I'm not an expert on the law of parties that they have going on in Texas. I grew up in the Dallas area, and I wasn't even aware. I live in the D.C. area right now, but I wasn't even aware of that law. My point is that apparently they can still potentially charge him if they need to or if they want to. I don't know if they're sort of using that as leverage for him to cooperate. I don't know those details, but my point is that I just don't think the Cowboys can sit there and wait because you're essentially sitting on your heels, hoping that he doesn't get charged. I think we just have to move on. What are your thoughts?
I initially I think it was Monday, before we got more details, I was definitely among that. And it was more so not just because of him, but the situation. Like when it comes to somebody dying, it hit home for me because I've been on that other side, not of the bullet, but of the family / friend losing someone in that way, and then specifically like that in a shooting. So it hit home to me. So I wouldn't shed a tear if they moved on from him because it's a tough situation, and maybe he needs to be somewhere else where he can rehabilitate himself, and not in a city like Dallas where there's a lot going on, and it's the limelight and things like that. Maybe he needs a fresh start, and not just for the Cowboys but for him. But if it was a completely innocent situation, which we can get on him for his decision to be in the car at the time or be around who he was around. But if he was completely innocent and got into a fight, people fight, right? And they're on the way home and his man's out of nowhere just starts shooting and he had nothing to do with it, that's where it gets gray, right? Like he was an innocent person in the situation, and right now as we speak, he's innocent in that situation. So, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here because somebody died at the end of the day. Yeah. No pun intended with Stephen Jones, but somebody died. So that's heavy. This isn't just a fight. This isn't steroids. This isn't he said something about somebody. Somebody died. And he was in the vehicle of that. He was part of that situation, the fight and all that. So it's no easy answer. It's no easy conversation.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And obviously, my condolences to the family, when we discuss these kind of issues. But, I guess I'm of the mindset that, and I'm not even saying from a brand standpoint. I mean, if you want to take it there, I think that's a little dark to do that. But, that's how the Joneses tend to operate. I'm a little surprised that he's actually still on the roster. But setting that issue aside, with the draft coming up, I wanted to move up before that incident, but it's like we can't afford to move up. We need each and every pick because we have to look at now another cornerback, right? I mean, it's just we have corner, we have wide receiver, we have defensive tackle, we probably need another speed rusher. Offensive line, I haven't even talked about that. Receiver. I mean, it's just like we're not going to be able to fill all these holes with this draft. We're lucky if we get 3 really good players who get a second contract. I think that's the most you can hope for out of any given draft. And if we're sitting in the 20s, there's no guarantee you're even going to hit on that first rounder.
Yeah, like I said, they've backed themselves into that corner. Again, we got a week. We're almost literally a week out, so they can still – Stephen Jones said we're not done yet, but he also said that 2 weeks ago or something, 3 weeks ago, and they signed a running back that's not going to make the team. Ryan Nall. I don't even know who that is, right? Like, do we really think he's going to make the team? So, talk is cheap at this point. we're not done, then go do something. So you can go into the draft and be pure BPA as we're about to try to do in our mock draft here. And then after the draft, obviously you can sign some veterans too. But I mean, I don't. There's not those high impact guys. Now you're talking about guys that kind of fill those holes, which usually you do before the draft. We're talking about defensive tackle, Hakeem Hicks type of guy, linebacker like Quan Alexander. You would think you do that in a draft so you can cover your bases prior to it, not after the fact. But it's been an interesting offseason. They've done things differently. They usually try to offer their guys contracts prior to hitting the market. This year they did it differently. They said, go hit the market, come back with the offer, and we'll see if we like it. And it, in some cases it worked out, some cases it didn't.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Appreciate the time. Thanks for taking the call. I will keep listening offline.
No problem. Bruh, here's the number so you can call into this show. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you in this chat. 351-999-3787. I would love for you to call into this show and explain to me whatever it is you in here fussing about. Okay? Because you've got to be new. You've got to be new here. And I don't feel like going through my entire offseason of conversations to explain to you who don't get it about what we are talking about here. So please, 351-999-3787. I tell people this all the time. Call into the show. I can't text you there. So call on in.
I want me some glory hole.
Gotta get my safe word here. Let's talk about this week's ride of the week, which is the Freeman Hyundai 2022 Hyundai Elantra. The 2022 Hyundai Elantra stands out in traffic due to its unique style, but underneath the sharply creased sheet metal is a spacious and practical compact car. Its cabin is decked out with a similarly futuristic design, and several high-end features are offered, especially for the high-end trims. Got a starting point at under $22,000. Great gas mileage, 43 on the highway, 33 on the city, and a ton of features that I think you'll enjoy, especially for the modern day driver and for the new driver. A lot of good safety features. Check out freemanhyundai.net for more information.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
And by no means am I trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but I'm just not gonna do that in the chat. Call in. They'll tell you. Those that have been here will tell you. I will have a conversation with you if you disagree. Sometimes to a point where they be like, just hang up. No. Let me hear them out. I love to debate. Y'all know that by now. Love to debate. But I'm going to get to you, Los. I'm going to get to you, Ring. I do want to get to this mock draft, though. That's what today's show is supposed to be about. So let me pull up this mock draft. We'll do the first pick, and I'll get into the lines, and we'll move forward. Switching it up this week. We're not doing PFF. I just wanted to try something different, see if we get different players there, and see if it works out. We're still going to do a four-rounder, and it's going to be interactive. I may do a poll. I may not do a poll. We'll see. In fact, let me get ready to do a poll if I decide to do so. All right. Y'all ready? You ready, B? Let me move over. We are going to use Pro Football Network's mock draft. Now, I'm curious how y'all feel about Pro Football Network's mock draft. I haven't used them with y'all just yet. We've all been PFF. So if you don't like Pro Football Network's mock draft, you can give me a thumbs down, but we're going to use it today. Asian persuasion. Trust me, I am. But y'all know me. I'm passionate, man. I'm passionate. All right, 4-round mock draft. Dallas Cowboys. Let's do it. By the way, I'm going to pause this real quick. Because this is a different mock draft, obviously their setup is different online. Does this look okay to y'all? If it's too small, I would say turn your phone sideways and let me know if this is not going to work for you. If not, unfortunately, we're going to rock with it today. But moving forward, I'll stop using it. Yeah, it looks small on my phone. I'm sitting here testing it my damn self. But if you turn it, that's not bad. If you got bad eyes, it might not be good. But turn your phone, pull up your computers, and let's rock out. Let's do it. Let's mock draft go. TC915 says, I feel like PFN grading system is better. It's more realistic. By the way, this is all, I didn't touch anything. So, I mean, you can see there was a trade by the Saints. Derek Stingley went 11. Zion's gone. Okay, quarterback run. This kind of seems realistic. Oh, you got an offer. 3 offers. We'll do trades. We'll look at trades. I'm not going to try to get super tradey in these 4 rounds, but we'll look at them. I mean, I don't like this one here. I'm moving back and I get a 2023 pick, and you want my 178. I'm good on that one, Buffalo. Y'all want me to go back. Philly wants to go back to 51. 76, 83. I'll pass on that as well. Same thing here. We don't care about 2023, so we don't really care about that. Now, we can look to trade our own guys if we want, do our own trades, but let's just see where things went in this draft. After the top 10, you're not really getting most of those guys. Jordan Davis, fan favorite, is gone. Jamison Williams is gone. If you were looking to go corner, Booth Jr. is gone. Zion's out of there. Drake London went a little later than I thought. Now, if you wanted a linebacker, you could have came up. Damn, look at all these trades. Good Lord. And Traylon Burks and Chris Olave are gone. Here's the big board here if we're going BPA. Right? Okay, so Tino said I can counter. Yeah, that's true. I definitely could have. BPA, if the Cowboys were going based off of PFN mock draft, Pro Football Network, would be Jermaine Johnson. Interesting. Jermaine Johnson hasn't been there in a lot of our drafts. Neither has Nakobe Dean. Interesting. Tyler Linderbaum. Now, I've seen on PFN Linderbaum has definitely dropped out the first round, which I found interesting. Devontae Wyatt. They got a lot of players on here. Okay. So, this is how we usually do it. We'll do a poll because this is a lot of good players, and we'll do 3 different ones. I'm setting up this poll right now. Can we agree Kenyon Green's going to be on here? Jose says trade back. Yeah, this is like a trade back situation. I mean, you got Jermaine. I mean, I like Daxton Hill, but they're not. Jermaine, Elam, hell, McDuffie, Green, Dean, Linderbaum. You're right. I think I would look to trade back too. Philly doesn't have any more. So we're looking at probably Green Bay already traded. Are we looking at Kansas City? Would you guys be interested in trying to trade back with Kansas City? 29-30. Trade back, take who you want. Trade back. Lots of trade back here. Take Wyatt. There's a lot of good players here. And honestly, that's about as far as I'm going to try to go. Bear with me. I have not. Okay, propose a trade. These are new for me. All right, KC. All right, so they want to. Let's see if they want to come up to 24. We want y'all 29. Now, can we trade back and pick up 50? Being a bit greedy here, but let's try it. Yeah. That might be greedy. Is that too greedy? I'm trying to get 29 and 50. I'm trying to get 2 picks in the top 50 if I can. Yes, Devontae Wyatt is there, by the way, guys. There's a lot of players on this board. I'll come out of it real quick. Devontae Wyatt is right here. He's ranked 37th on the PFN board. So you got Wyatt. Here's the guys I'm personally looking at. Wyatt, Linderbaum, Nakobe Dean, Kenyon Green, Jermaine Johnson. If we're being completely honest, we don't know what's going on with the whole Joseph situation. You're kind of looking at those corners too, right? That's too greedy, Chris. Try it. Nope, not greedy. I mean, it is deep, Jose. That's why I'm looking to trade back, because I'm not mad at missing out on any of these guys, because I can get other guys. So let's try it. Let's do 24. We're going to go back 5 spots. I'm going to try to grab 50, and I'll give them 129. Let's just see what happens. They're not going to do it, though. Yeah, that's what I figured. I ain't done with y'all yet. So we'll go 24, 29. What about 62? I think straight up, that could work. Professor, I usually lean on you with these because you know those numbers, those trade back numbers. Both 30 plus, both third round. Okay, you're talking about some trade back, get Pickens. I'm going to go here. Let's see if we can just trade back 5 spots, pick up to 62. I think that's fair. Throw in 129. Talking about for us. Sure, why the hell not? Sure. They decline that. Okay. It's a bit tougher to get the trades on this one. All right. They not with it. Interesting. There must not be anybody there because I want to trade back on this one. 24, 29, 62. They want 88. Do I want to give up 88? If I'm going to give up 88, I want 50. So we'll have 29, 50, and 56. That's what I'm going to go with. 24, 88. I want 29, 50, and 94. That gives me 3 picks in the top 100 plus the one I got in the second round. So 4. I don't want to give up 88. I'm getting greedy. I don't want to give it up. I feel like this should be just a straight up. Why won't they not take that? I don't give a damn about these picks here. See what we got. Y'all can have 129, 176. They not with it, y'all. Matt wants 30, 94, 103 for 24 and 129. He says that works. I trust my guy. Let's do it. It's the last one, or we going to pick. So 24 for 30, 94, and 103. And they want 24, 129. Let's see what happens, Matt. Declined. All right, listen. We can't do it. We're not going to try to force it. We're going to try to stick to BPA. So I'm going to put a thing up in here. Now I could trade with somebody else, right? We could try to go We could try to go Bucks or whatever, but we don't want to keep y'all here all day. So I'm going to put in here, first round pick. Green, Wyatt, because that's the trenches, right? Defense, offense. Need one more. Do we go Jermaine? Yeah, let's put Jermaine Johnson in there. Here comes the poll. Ask your community. Those are the 3 names we got, Cowboys Nation. Green, Wyatt, Jermaine Johnson. And while you guys decipher over that, I'm going to get to Los real quick, see what his thoughts are. Los, what you got for us, brother?
So good morning. Good morning, Sky. How's your morning so far? Happy 420,
Dean,
man.
And my bad, y'all. I should have put Dean in there. Tyler Linden, but so many players. But what's up, bro?
All good. Just to add on the draft and everything, I'm just going to give you 6 names, 3 on the cornerbacks and 3 on the wide receivers. And you let me know later on in the show what you think of them for replacements for the Cowboys.
All right, 6. So what am I doing with these 6 names?
So three cornerbacks that can replace, if we do cut Joseph, and then wide receiver to replace Cooper and to add to our system.
Okay.
So for cornerbacks, I really like, and these are like third or fourth rounds. The Cordell Flott from LSU. He has, he's a good prospect. Marquise Jones from the Houston Cougars. Weird name. He can play 2-1 special teams and has, ball traits to get the ball. And Josh Joby from Alabama. And then for the wide receivers,
okay.
Go for it.
No, I'm just writing these names down.
And then for the wide receivers, I think you already heard of them, but Dotson, Shakir, and Calvin Austin.
See, I don't see the Cowboys doing no Calvin Austin. They don't, they tried that with Tavon Austin, and they didn't work out. You got the same offensive mind guy here. They don't know how to use these dudes. So I really don't see it happening.
Gotcha. But yeah, man, you have a good morning. And hopefully with this mock draft, we don't know what we'll do. Stephen Jones can say we got best player available, but last time they picked the best player available, they picked Taco Charlton over Bosa or something.
Well, that wasn't the best player available. That was need pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. They can tell you something, but that you got to prove it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you. All right. This one was a tough poll. I should have put 5. Y'all know how we do. We usually do 3. It's an overwhelming favorite of Kenyon Green here. Golly, I don't even know if I'd do that, but so many players here. Wyatt, Linderbaum, but again, this is an interactive mock here, and I probably should have put Nakobe Dean up there. But I like linebackers in the second, too. I do. So we're going to go with the poll results. 69% Kenyon Green. Let's see what happens following. Now, what I've noticed watching these mock drafts on this simulator is that I've seen guys like Linderbaum in the second round, Nakobe Dean in the second. Man, go Chad moment. Second round and falling to the Cowboys. See, Wyatt went 41. Pickens, God. They're taking all my guys. See, this is what I mean. Linderbaum is still there. Got a counter. I'm sorry, we got a trade offer from the Browns, 78.99. I'm good. Okay, 258. Now I don't really care about going down for 258. We can revisit trade offers if we want, but let's kind of take a look at what's still on the board. And there are players I like here. Linderbaum is still available. Again, I wonder if this is a theme here on Pro Football Network, that Linderbaum just falls to the second round. Travis Jones is still available. Y'all know how I feel about defensive tackle. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm putting him in the poll. John Mechie went 48. That's interesting. Perrion Winfrey went a little high too. Greg Dulcich. Was he the first tight end off the board? PFN is very interesting. We got Kyler Gordon still on the board if you're looking for corner. They've got Alec Pierce at 57. I do want to see what the wide receivers are looking like. Right now, if we look at overall, I like Christian Harris. I like Travis Jones, Tyler Linderbaum, but I feel like that's cheating a little bit. Sky Moore is still available. Yeah, this is interesting. Look, Professor O, PFN board is bad. This is crazy. All right, let's do it. I got my 3. I'm gonna put up here. We got Sky Moore. We got, who do we say? Travis Jones. And the last one was Christian Harris. Y'all ain't really going forward with Christian there. Look at the linebackers. Who else is left? They took my guy, Chad Muma. I think that's fair, though, to put Christian Harris up there because linebacker is still. So we got 3 different positions at 3 different positions of need. I think this is a fair 3 guys to throw up there on this board. I'm not putting Linderbaum. I know TC915, but are we in a bit of an? I guess Creed Humphrey went late too, but I really don't feel like Tyler Linderbaum is going to fall to 56. It can happen, but I don't know. I can see Sky creating havoc with the Cowboys. And Ingram's still there. See, this is why I wanted to kind of trade back to get an extra pick, but we're going to try to go with this BPA situation. Stephen White says, no, Linderbaum, he's a freak. The only reason why Stephen White is because I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, and I feel like Linderbaum won't be there. I could be dead ass wrong. I'm not sitting here acting like, but yeah, see, Chris, like, this is unrealistic for Linderbaum. Sky, I feel like that could happen. I feel like that could happen. More than a Linderbaum. So there's a 3. I'm gonna get to the horn, and we're gonna see what they're talking about. 919. What it is, what it do?
What's up?
What's
Can
good?
You hear
man?
me?
Yes, sir. Who I got on the horn?
This is Ronnie Everett.
Oh, I gotta give you up. Appreciate you, Ronnie, because a lot of people, when I call them out and tell them to call into the show, they won't call into the show. So you want the smoke? What's up?
Well, dog, I just want to let you know I'm a big fan of yours. You and Bosch are like my favorite 2 Cowboy content creators.
Salute,
and just so you know, most of the comments I'm making in the comment section ain't directed necessarily towards you.
Got you.
All right, and look, I'm an older man. I've been a Cowboys fan for over 40 years, and I've seen this fan base at its highest and its lowest. And I got to be honest, this offseason is probably as low as I've ever seen it. I feel like this offseason, this fan base is lower than it was, probably. Sure. I remember when we went 1-15. I don't remember this fan base being this low.
But for
my whole feelings behind this is look, I know people are upset. We lost to the 49ers. I was mad too. All right, some of these guys that we had like Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory, I liked them. You know what I'm saying? But I think, a lot of people are being way too over emotional about things that they probably shouldn't be. Amari Cooper was a very good wide receiver, but I'm not that upset with us losing him because I don't feel like he's like a top 5 guy. Same thing with Randy Gregory. I think he had a lot of promise, but he never lived up to the expectations.
Sure.
So us losing him, it may have been a blessing in disguise, really. You know what I'm saying? But we've never, for the last few years, we've never hit that first wave of free agency. Okay? Remember last year we were getting guys like Carlos Watkins and J-Ron Curse, and people were like, yeah, they ain't even going to make this team. But what happened? They ended up, playing a huge role for us.
And that's hold on, Ronnie. And that's what I mean by, if you were here with me last year, the only person that I really crapped on in the free agency last year was Carlos Watkins. I definitely said I don't think he's going to make the team. But if the Cowboys hold on, Ronnie. If the Cowboys were doing what they did last year, I don't think Cowboys Nation would be all up in arms. They signed about 8 players last year, and 6 of them happened prior to the draft. They've signed 3 guys. One of them ain't going to make. We don't believe in whatever Nall, right? Ryan Nall, whatever his name is. That's not happening. So I see the reason why fans are frustrated. They're not addressing what needs to be addressed on this team. Can you not understand that, or is you just like, hey, we don't need to sign anybody to help this team. We're cool with what we got. Is that how you feel?
No, I completely understand why people are frustrated, but here's my thing. Do people not understand? I mean, I consider Dan Quinn a free agency pickup, a huge free agency pickup. I mean, he's not a player, but I still think that was probably the most important free agency pickup we made. And also, here's the thing that I like about what we do, what our front office does. Okay, we develop our players, we re-sign them, and we draft very well. Okay, those things are all important, and I think, wouldn't you agree that we do all those things well?
I do believe we draft well. The developing thing, it's hit or miss like any other team. I don't have a problem with how they attack the free agent. I'm sorry, how they attack the draft. My problem, Ronnie.
But see, a lot of fans do. A lot of fans do. What I've been hearing from in all the chats on all the content creators' chats is, why won't they go after Bobby Wagner? Why won't they go after Von Miller? Why won't
free
they go
agency,
after this guy?
Ronnie.
Right.
I said I don't have a
right.
I said I don't have a problem with what they do in the draft. I trust them more in the draft than anything else. And I've put more pressure on them in the draft though because they don't participate in free agency. I said, okay, yes, you do draft well, but you have to draft better, and that's a fact.
Okay, that's cool. I actually think we draft probably as well as any team in the league.
That sure.
But as far as free agency goes, I actually like their approach. I don't like when they try to go out and sign a 33-year-old and overpay him just because he used to be good. You know, Bobby Wagner was a great player, but Bobby Wagner ain't in his prime anymore, in my opinion. You know, I'm not sure I really want to sign a guy that age. You know what I'm saying? Like you and I talked before about what's Calais Campbell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and I call him Joe Lewis.
Calais Campbell signed for a $6 million deal. 1 year, essentially $6 million deal. You mean to tell me you wouldn't have took that chance?
No, because like I told you in that chat before, he's Joe Lewis. He's 147 years old.
And he's better than every single last defensive tackle on your team. Who gives a damn how old he is?
I don't know that he is. What? I don't know that he is. Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely in decline. These guys that are on our team right now, they're going to get better, right? Aren't our guys developing? I know a lot of people.
I don't know that. That's what we hope. You're living by the hope creed, and honestly, that's all we have as Cowboys fans is to hope. Where I can tell you right this second that a Calais Campbell, a Bobby Wagner, a Von Miller, a Chandler Jones, those guys, I don't have to hope for what they are. I know what they are. I know they're impact guys. And I'm not saying you got to sign 7 of those dudes. But there has to be a middle ground, Ronnie, right? Like, we got to find a middle ground.
Of all of those guys, Bobby Wagner's probably the only one that I was like, yeah, sure. I really want him.
Yeah, I named all I named all the top guys, but there are a plethora of free agents that could come in here and help the Dallas Cowboys over the last decade that the Cowboys routinely ignore because they're scared. But literally, your guy, your Stephen Jones, he said, I'm scared to spend money because of what happened with Brandon Carr, which in reality, nothing bad happened with Brandon freaking Carr.
Well, my thoughts is the best players never make it to free agency. And the ones that do, you have to overpay for them. So, I mean, the best players usually get re-signed. I mean, yeah, there are exceptions to the rule, but the best players usually get re-signed by their team.
Dozens and dozens of exceptions to the rule. One more question. And I say this to everybody that constantly cares about this money situation. If the Dallas Cowboys went above what they do for a few free agents and ended up winning the Super Bowl, but let's just say for whatever reason they went above and it put them in your perceived cap hell for a year or two, would you give a damn that you had to spend extra money, or would you be like, yo, we won the Super Bowl, I'm happy?
No, of course I'd be happy, but I ask you the same question. If we went out and put ourselves in cap hell and didn't win the Super Bowl, you'd be upset about that.
No,
right?
I would not.
Think everybody would.
Nope, I wouldn't. No, I would not. I would not. Because
what if it stopped
why?
From being able to re-sign a guy like Micah Parsons?
It ain't going to stop you from re-signing Micah Parsons, Ronnie. That's what I'm trying to get to people that are worried about this cap. You can sign who you want. The Cowboys elect not to because of Catboy.
Okay. Well, like I said, I believe in developing players. It's like a lot of people are really low on Kellen Moore right now. I mean, he's a young guy. I think he's just going to get better. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not as low on him as a lot of people are, because a lot of people say, oh, he doesn't know how to use these players. What has he been, an OC now for 2 years? I think the guy's going to get a lot better. Just like a lot of people are down on CeeDee Lamb for some reason. I don't know if they're pissed off that we got rid of Amari Cooper. That makes no sense to me.
No, I agree.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top 5 wide receiver in the next 2 or 3 years. That's just my opinion, though. There's a whole lot of crying going on in this fan base, is my point. And we ain't got to agree on some things, but damn, people need to relax. We're way too low. We did win 12 games, and I get it. I was talking to an Eagles fan the other day, and he was trying to tell me that Jalen Reagor was going to have a better career than CeeDee Lamb, and I laughed at him. And his reply back to me, well, y'all ain't won a Super Bowl in 27 years. What the hell do you know? You can use the Super Bowl thing to top anything I say.
No.
But, you know.
You're talking about three different things here, okay? Jalen, what the Eagle fan did doesn't make sense. It doesn't add context to what we're talking about. We're talking about building a championship team. So, yes, I can use 27 years against you because they don't know how to build a championship team in 27 years. But when you're talking individual players.
I feel like we're right on the doorstep, though. I feel like we're right on the doorstep.
We're on the doorstep. How many times have you been on the doorstep, Ronnie?
In the last 27 years, maybe 2 or 3.
Oh, really? 07, we wasn't on the doorstep? 16?
Yeah.
14?
That's
18?
2 or 3.
09?
Right.
2 or
3.
You know what doorstep is?
2007, 2014, and this past year. That's the only 3 I can think of.
And to me, listen to what you said. I didn't even say this. I named more years. You said we've only been on the doorstep 3 times. And for some odd reason, you, in a 27-year period, you don't have a problem with 3 times in 27 years. That is the issue I have with people that want to ignore.
Do you think in 27 years, though, we've been using the same process? I really don't. I feel like we've just been using this process for the last 10.
No, I think you could split them up. Sure. But let me ask you again, in the last 10 years, what the hell have we done?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. You know, it isn't going the way I want it to, but again, I'm not trying to convince you it is. All I'm saying is this fan base is a lot lower on this team than they really need to be. People need to perk the hell up, man. It's just the first wave of free agencies went by. There's still plenty of off season to go. We're going to add players. We're going to draft well. Players that were good last year have a chance to be great this year. I think our coaching staff's just going to get better. I like the guys we've got. I'm not that low on this team. I still think we're in a garbage-ass division, so we're going to have a chance to compete. I mean, I don't feel any different about this season than I did last year.
My problem with people of your mindset is not you specifically of how you feel about the team. I got a problem with people that are upset with fans being frustrated because of how things have turned out over the last 10, 20, 30 years. Why is that an issue to you? I don't got an issue, and I'm just mind you, Ronnie, I'm not hollering, screaming at you. This is for everybody that feel like you. I don't have a problem with you having the Skittles and rainbows. Just don't try to come and check me or mine because we're upset. That's the issue I have. There are far too many, there are far too many fans like yourself and content creators who mock fans that are frustrated, that are watching the NFL do things that your team is not doing and having success, and then y'all want to try to put on makeup on a pig to make me feel better. I'm sorry. I'm not faking the funk. If that's how y'all want to do it, that's cool. I'm not going to call you out for it until you come for me. And then I'm going to check you. And I digress.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. But I could say the same exact thing is happening the other way around. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm trying to be a little more optimistic about things, and you got people in the damn comments that say, oh, he's a disciple of Stephen Jones.
Because, sir,
the sky is falling. I just don't think the sky is falling. That's all.
Sure, Ronnie. You know why? You know why people are combating you in that way is because you're being combative. It's one thing to be, you know, positive in what we're talking about and have a positive spin in what we're talking about. It's another thing when you're being combative to what I'm saying. So people are going to respond in a combative nature. I don't have a problem disagreeing. Just bring me some context to it to make me I don't gotta come to your side, but make me understand. And you were doing some of that in this conversation.
That's why I called because
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I say some stuff to some people like, I feel like, Kellen Moore is going to be better next year, and people coming back at me being combative. You know what I'm saying? So, it's going both ways. All I'm saying is I love this team, and I don't feel like the sky is falling.
Sure.
My problem is there's a lot of content creators out there, and like I said, you and Vosh are my go-to guys. Y'all are the ones who I don't feel like do this, but there's a lot of guys out there who basically this entire off season, all of their content has been like borderline anti-Cowboys shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they're that low, and look, they're getting those people in their in their chats, and that's fine. I mean, they're getting clicks for it. All I'm saying is it bothers me that when I get into I go to one of you guys to listen to Cowboys content, and it's like, damn, you think these people were talking like we were like the Jaguars, like we had the number one pick in the draft. I don't feel like we're that bad.
I'm gonna let him have that one.
I feel like we're right on the doorstep.
I hear you, Rodney.
Again, not you necessarily,
Yeah.
Sky. I mean, I want to be very clear about how most of the shit that I was saying in the comment section wasn't towards you. You and Vosh are my dudes. Y'all are the ones that make the most sense to me of all the content creators.
I would urge you to do this, Ronnie. This is what I learned a while ago. Once I got into this whole game, there are going to be. We all have crazy fans, right? We all have fans that are on the far end of each spectrum. Just ignore it, right? Like just ignore it. If it's
fine.
You're not many doom and gloom guys.
I think I'm that upset, but I'm not. But like I said, when you got people in the comment section, right? This is Ronnie Jones. Those people are being ridiculous, in my opinion, because again, I can tell you exactly what I don't like about Stephen Jones and what I don't like about Jerry. I'm older than probably most of the people in the comment section. I've seen the good and the bad of this team.
Touche, Ronnie. Hey, I appreciate you calling in and explaining yourself. Now that I've spoken with you, I understand the context behind your comments. I understand the tone behind your comments, and that's why I urge people call in, because I don't really. If you want to go back and forth, I'd rather do it via phone so I can understand what you're trying to say here, as opposed to the, commenting every few times. So I appreciate that, Ronnie, and I'll see you in the chat, man. Keep rocking.
All right. Well, I love what you do, dog. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I thought that was healthy. But for those that are new here, you're probably like, whoa, why is he? That's me, dog. I'm passionate. I mean what I say, and I stand on it. I got no problem with Skittles and rainbows, but if you're going to try to come for us that are frustrated, I'm going to defend y'all in that manner, because there are a lot of people that feel frustrated. Does not mean we not allowed to celebrate when things do go our way, or allowed to celebrate when you make a good move, or if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Trust and believe me, I don't give a damn what anybody say. If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, y'all gonna have to come bail me out, as Vach says. That's not the point. Talk about these boys every day. Unfortunately, they haven't given us a ton of things to be excited about. Now, we can prop them up. We can fake the funk as if there's new amazing things happening, and it's not. But the draft, though, that's different. We will get players. We will break them down, see how they fit. Free agent additions, we'll get players. We'll break them down, see how they fit. Coaches, all that stuff. We'll do all that here. We'll also be real. That was interesting. I was in and out of the chat throughout this whole thing, but Jaw said the guy took a few years off Sky's life. Nah. Let me get to a couple donations, man.
Super chat.
Joe DeGoon, appreciate you for the $10 donation. Jones 316, Stephen Jones so loves the cap that will continue to accept mediocrity, that whoever trusts in him will not be disappointed in first round exits, but will hope that next year is our year. That's what they sell, is hope. Somebody said, I think it was Kevin Gray, and he's like, their greatest currency has taken its biggest hit and its hope. And I agree with that. Stephen White, no safeties this year, guy. For the first time, Stephen White, I really don't care about the safety class because I've come to the understanding they're not going to do it. And I do like what we got. I do like Hooker and I do like KZ Hooker and I do like J-Ron Kearse. So I'm cool. I'm not getting worked up about safety. Last year I got worked up a little bit, but this year I'll be cool. All right, listen, we're going to talk about worth the pour real quick because I might go take me a pour when we're done here. And then we'll get back into the draft, finish this thing up, and then I hit the phone lines. One thing we can all agree on is watching and discussing the Cowboys can be stressful. To take the edge off a game day, stop by Worth the Pour Spirits and Wine in the colony of Texas. They are a family-owned and operated luxury liquor store with affordable prices, a wide variety of spirit, wine, and beer samples available, making your drink choice easier than ever. And for the game day party or draft party, that won't end. They even offer liquor deliveries to all of North Texas. To make Worth the Pour part of your game day routine, download the Worth the Pour app. Their app allows you to schedule orders to deliver your pickups or delivery and pickups and gives customer access to discount codes for extra savings, including our own discount code A to Z Sports. You get 5% off any order, $20 or more. Check them out. It's funny, Iceberg Slim. You said, Sky, you'd be a hell of a lawyer. Look, that was one of the first things I kind of wanted to be when I was young. And then Okoye said the same thing to me before. All right, let's get back into this mock draft. We didn't even get to the second round pick. But I do truly appreciate Ronnie for doing that. I usually tell people, Stephen White, to call into the show, and they don't. So he did so, and I appreciate that. Don't get me going back and forth twisted with I don't like you. Nah, you cool. All right, here we are, y'all. 56, and I already put up the poll. Let me get to it. And we got Sky Moore as the overwhelming favorite at 62%. Travis Jones came in at 25%. Christian Harris at 13%. Not going to lie to y'all, I would love to have Travis Jones in this situation, but we're going to go with what the chat said. With the 56 overall pick, Dallas Cowboys select Sky Moore. Kinda would have wanted Travis Jones there. Am I wrong for that? Only because you know what, Stephen White, you know what the new safety is for me? It's the one tech. Yep. It's the one tech. I want me a big ugly that can push the pocket, hold up to, and be active in the run game. All right, here we are. Pick 88. The Broncos are looking to trade. We trade down 8 picks, pick up a 4th. Next year, I'm good with that. Let's take a look. Remember, we're trying to go BPA. Now, according to them, Sky Moore wasn't BPA, but it is what it is. How we feeling, Cowboys Nation, right now? Can we look at our picks? I don't really say. So, according to them, we're not looking at running back. Kingsley with edge is a possibility. Nicholas Petit Ferrari, or whatever how you say his name, MPF. Nicholas' little brother, I think, is what Vach called. Cole Strange. Jeremy Rucker, if you want to go tight end here in 3rd round. Calvin Austin, for those that are high on him. I just don't think the Cowboys would be into him. He's a dynamic weapon. I just don't view him as a guy Dallas would like. But we got a receiver, so you don't really need that. Channing Tindall. I do want a linebacker, Cowboys Nation. I do want a linebacker. Why does Asamoah continue to kind of... I don't dislike him. I didn't include him in our top 5 day 2 picks, and I would have if I didn't use Nick Bonito. But I'm curious for the draft folk out there. What is it with Asamoah? And Do you take him over a Channing Tindall, who's another guy that if I did a top 10, Tindall, Asamoah, Beavers would have probably been on there yesterday. You want to go back and check that out? What did I like Josh Pascal too? If you're looking at Sam Williams is gone already, which that's fine. I'm not tripping. Ridgeway you probably can get later. So all right, here we go. We're gonna roll with. I'm gonna put Kingsley up there. Oh, and in the poll. I think we're gonna go Kingsley. Did we get our? Yeah, we got Green and we got Sky Moore, so we don't need a guard. Don't need a wide receiver. Kingsley, Tindall, Cam Jurgens, Stephen White, Kennard by now. I think Kennard is gone. I didn't even tight end. Do you go tight end here? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Jelani is still there. Jake Ferguson now. Let's go off the guys that they brought in for the 30 visit. You got Jelani, you got Ruckert, and you got Ferguson or Otten. I'm sorry. Jelani, Ruckert, and Otten are the 3 tight ends that were brought in. I do like Charlie Kohler too. So what I'll do is for this part, 3rd round pick, we're gonna go tight end. We're just gonna put tight end and we'll decide who we want there. I'll go Kingsley because I think that's good value here for a pass rusher if you want to. Then I'm putting Tindall because y'all could be mad at me for not putting Asamoah, but I'm gonna put Tindall. So I'm asking community. All right, tight end, Kingsley as an edge rusher out of South Carolina or Tindall. Here we go. And let's get to 804 while we do this. 804, what it is, what it do?
Yo, what's up, my boy?
What's good? Who this?
This Phil.
Phil 2 Trill?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me save you up in here, brother. How you doing? I'm
good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What you got for us?
I came here kind of late. I heard you arguing with somebody. I kind of was trying to figure out what the hell you was arguing about. I don't know what y'all was arguing about, but I kind of think I know. He was real like happy, not happy, but he wanted. He didn't really mind what Stephen Jones said, and that's what it was.
Not necessarily what Stephen Jones said. Ronnie is of the belief everything's fine. You know, like yeah, everything is good to go. There's nothing that they've done wrong in the last decade. Not nothing they've done wrong, but there's no need to worry in a way. We disagree on how we approach things as well in free agency and in the draft. So we're kind of at odds on free agency, not the draft. But there's some things he said that I agree with. There's some things he didn't say. So we were kind of just back and forth.
Yeah, I'm probably more like in the middle. Like I feel like, cause I know this team. Like I've been watching this team. I think I got into football like around 2012. So I've been watching this for a little while, but I know how they move. They don't really do too much till after the draft. So it's like if after the draft, even if we have a good draft and they don't get nobody else, I'll probably be a little frustrated with that. But I kind of know how they work.
Yeah,
I kind of know what to expect with the Cowboys, you know.
And I think that's two different discussions because if you go back to the shows, I'm gonna say in February, when we were prepping for free agency, it was a consensus for those that understand, and out of my mouth that, hey y'all, we're not going to participate in free agency like that. So that's one discussion. Right. Then you have the but.
Now,
but that doesn't mean that is the way to go, right? So there's just two different discussions.
I still feel like they need to do some free agency to make the team better, not just get by. But I did think they would do something different this year because, you know, they had a good amount of money, especially because, you know, Randy switched. But, you know, Stephen Jones going to be Stephen Jones. I didn't like what he said yesterday when he should have been more clear when he was talking about Dorrance kind of had the same production as Randy because they're not the same player. Like, no. Randy wrecked a lot of games. Randy got off the ball, made a lot of plays. Dorrance was the backup, so you can't say they gave you the same production, regardless of how many sacks they got, because it's more than just sacks, you know?
Yes. I'm in agreement with that. B. Bird talked about it. Excuse me. I didn't even choose to bring it up in the roundup because it's silly. We know, right? Like he would have signed Randy. He wanted to sign Randy Gregory, so he obviously holds him in a higher value than Dorrance Armstrong. But he's also trying to sell you to the nation that, hey, Dorrance and Randy, they're similar production.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, he's not wrong when it comes to sacks and tackles and things like that. But when you dive deeper,
he know what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
he know what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
I
ain't tripping about that.
Jerry would have said that. I don't think Jerry would have said that. If he would have said it, he would have said it in a different way. You know how Jerry is.
Well, I know this about Jerry and Dorrance Armstrong. If you guys remember in 2020, that was his guy. He would come out and go to bat for Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah, but I still don't think he would have compared him to Randy though. Ain't no telling with him, but I still don't think he would have compared him like the same way. What's his name did, but you know everybody gonna joke on Stephen Jones. He don't. The Cowboy, like he need to spend some money. It's that time. But I ain't even gonna dwell on all that. It's time for the draft for real. I'm trying to I've been watching a lot of stuff with the Cowboys. They talking about what's his name, Sam Williams. I feel like a lot of people talking about him, but I liked his film, but I think you and Bot said y'all don't really like him as much.
Not in the second round.
No.
Yeah, I don't like him. I think it was Dane Brugler, who he did his first mock or whatever. Not first mock, but he did a mock that had Sam Williams going to the Cowboys in the second round, and we both were like, I'll pass on that. But you get Sam Williams early day 3, late day 2. I don't complain about it, depending on what we do with the first 2 picks, obviously, and what we do leading up into the draft. We still got a week left.
So I guess kind of my question is like, cause I watched his film and I like his I like how he plays. The only thing that kind of gets me with him is he kind of runs kind of weird to me. Like he don't really.
He's stiff a little bit.
Don't like kind of run. He's fast, but he's not like striding out. You know what I'm saying?
He's straight line fast, but as he turn the corner quick. That's the knock on him right now is stiffness in the hips.
Yeah. But I think Dan Quinn I think he would be a good guy for Dan Quinn, though, honestly.
I tell you what,
fast,
Phil Tutrill,
he's strong.
Whoever they pick defensively, I will give the benefit of the doubt to Dan Quinn, right? Like, right. I'm really probably not going to get all up in arms on the defensive pick, first, second, third, fourth round, whatever, because I want to see what Dan Quinn can do with them because he's gained that trust from me. So that's how I feel about it.
I think the best defensive player for Dan Quinn is probably obviously Jordan Davis. I think Jordan Davis starting to be the guy that I want the most. I remember I called in not too long ago, told you.
I agree, Professor.
I didn't really have like the number one guy for me, but I think it's Jordan Davis though. It's either Jordan Davis or whichever is the best offensive line that's available. For real, I think we need to get O-line, but I wouldn't mind Jordan Davis either though.
All right. I'm ready to agree with you, brother.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, though.
I appreciate you, Phil.
We'll start calling in a little more.
Yes, sir. We got a couple more. I'm going to get to you, Reem, because you came back in, and then we'll end it with not show. But let's get to the vote. Tight end is creeping back up, but it looks like you guys went Tyndall, 38%, Kingsley, 28%, tight end, 34%. This board is interesting. But remember, we got Green, we got Sky Moore, so you're ruling out wide receiver and you're ruling out offensive guard. Right now, I'm looking at linebacker edge. I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have went with Kingsley, but this might be a bit of a reach. But we'll take it. Channing Tyndall, 3rd round. I don't know if I'd go there, but hey, Professor O, make me feel better about taking Channing Tyndall in the 3rd round. Again, remember what I said, though? I don't want to be contradicting. They take a defensive player, I'm chilling. I gotta wait and see what's good because our guy Dan Quinn got a lot of those dudes ready to play. Ooh, Khalil Shakir is still there. Oh, he going down. Or is he? Oh, man. let me pull this back up because I'm sitting here watching it. I'm probably like, what is going on? Don't really care about that trade. He is still there. Boy, you want to talk about BPA? TC915 got on me. He said, Sky, we were talking about BPA. We ain't picking BPA. Yeah. Shoot. I don't even. Oh, Charlie Kohler. Yeah. John Ridgeway. Yeah. Okay. There's some guys up here. I'm looking at. Okay, man. I'm looking at. Let's go see what tight ends are on the board. Good call. Somebody said you can get a tight end later. We almost got wiped a little bit, but I mean Jalen Wademeyer, yeah. Derek Dees, yeah. But Charlie Kohler, I can dig that. Man, Shakir would be. Shakir though, I'm. All right, I know who I want to put up here for the fourth and final pick. Mind y'all, we didn't do any trades, so this was a good exercise because we traded in just about every other mock draft. So fourth round pick, we're going wide receiver. We're going Kohler, tight end. Double dipping at wide receiver would be very interesting. Let's want to put Ridgeway up there. We didn't get defensive tackle. O'Neal Jr. if you want safety, and this is a little bit. It's the fourth round. They haven't taken a fourth round safety in a long time, so we're going to go with Ridgeway, which again might be a bit rich, but we're at 120 something. So at this point, it is what it is. All right, here we go. I'm asking the community. For me, BPA would be Shakir. Wide receiver, Khalil Shakir from Boise State, Charlie Kohler, the tight end, or John Ridgeway, I believe out of Arkansas, are the picks. This PFN board definitely threw me for one, Cowboys Nation. And remind you, this is just a 4-round mock. So the Cowboys actually, I think they might got another 4th-round pick. They got 5th rounders, a ton of them. 6 rounders, things like that. So, they got obviously day 3. Well, we're in day 3 technically, but the rest of the draft to address other positions. 9 Deep said, I hate this board. Yeah, this board is, it's weird. Like, I don't feel like a lot of these things would happen, but again, that's the draft process. You just never know. Excuse me. $40% for Shakir. 23 for Kohler, 38 for Ridgeway. All right, let's get Reem on the board while this continues to go. What's up, Kareem?
What's up, Sky Moore? How you doing, my brother?
He called me Sky Moore. What's good, man?
I'm hoping we pick a wide receiver in the first round.
Okay. I like it.
So real quick, Sky, do you remember when the Cowboys decided to go receiver by committee and how that worked out?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And that was why we went and got Amari Cooper.
Are you of the belief that this is a receiver by committee approach right now?
Well, no, not necessarily that. I was leaning towards you have to go get a free agent to make things better.
Okay.
Even if you got the core already sitting there, you got the core, you got Lamb, you got a healthy Gallup whenever he comes back middle of the season, after Thanksgiving, whenever he comes back. And then you got this James Washington guy who nobody knows who he is. He had maybe a couple of flashes over in Pittsburgh, but whatever the case may be. Cooper is the reason why everybody don't want to say it, but it's true. It's the reason why Dak got that $75 million, just because of when he came in and how he stepped Dak up personally.
I won't argue with you with that. He definitely helped Dak 100%.
All right. Now, with that being said, I put more faith in Dan Quinn. So any pieces, whether it's free agency, through the draft, any big pieces need to go to the defense because even when Dak got all the weapons, he still can't get us over the hump. Now, Dak is my guy. Don't get me wrong. I love him. He's our quarterback. I just know what to expect from Dak. I feel like he's our modern day Alex Smith, a game manager.
So your solution is to give him less weapons.
No, not necessarily. Let him keep the weapons he got. He got a nice Schultz. He got Lamb. He got the running back by committee with a aging Zeke and a sparking Tony Pollard. What I'm saying is, if you're going to spend any draft picks in the first 2 rounds, okay, let's do this. Let's go offensive line in the first round. If it's a nice guy up there, somebody we need that, we got to get that guard because Conor McGovern ain't it. We got to get a guard.
Oh, he's gone.
You agree with that?
Oh, McGovern. Okay, McGovern. You said Connor Williams. Yeah, they're definitely looking at guard. I agree with that, yeah. The top 100.
All right, so we get the guard if it's there. And then in second and third round, we got to get a top defensive guy to give to Dan Quinn and help him promote. Like you were saying, let's do more with the defense. Let's not just say, all right, defense did pretty good last year. Let's bring back a couple of pieces that we already had, and then let's see what we got. No, that's going to get us a first-round bye if we make it to the playoffs again. Because, like you said, we haven't been to the playoffs in back-to-back years in a decade.
So I don't mean to be that guy, but is that Dak Prescott's fault?
You know what? When you make $75 million and you got all the weapons that you have, some of it's your. I wouldn't say all of it is, but particularly last year,
he definitely deserves
last
blame.
Year,
100%.
I will put it on him last year because first of all, that was the dumbest call in history, that quarterback draw, the last play of the game. The dumbest play in history.
I only asked that because you said, Dak, weapons, all this, and we still can't get over the hump with him. So to me, that comes off as you believe that he's the reason why we're not getting over the hump. That's why I asked that, because then you start talking about, well, the defense needs to be better too, or we got to add more pieces and things like that. So to me, it sounds like it's a bit contradicting. We all can agree it takes an entire team, correct?
Right. I will agree with that. Yeah, you're right. Now, again, one thing I wanted to say was, if Dak had weapons, let's just talk about last year. He had enough weapons to at least win that San Francisco game.
Oh, yeah, that game should have been won. I'm not going to lie about it. He didn't play good at all. That was his worst playoff game of his career if you go back and look at it statistically.
Right. And I'm going to get off the line, give somebody else a chance to talk or whatever the case may be, but I just wanted to say this. Now, Jerry's going to try to give Dak all his weapons because he had to give him all that money. So he got to support Dak. If anything you're going to do is support Dak, just give him a good, healthy offensive line and then put the rest on defense.
That's not a bad. No quarterback, no general manager is going to be upset with you protecting your quarterback up front with an offensive line and then bolstering your team behind him with a great defense. Nobody's going to complain about that.
And I made a bet with one of my Cowboys friends. I said, if you give Dak a good offensive line and a top 10 defense, he can get you there.
I agree, 100%. I don't think he can put it all on his shoulders. I think we talked about that during the season. I'll say this and then we can be gone. If the game plan is to have Dak throw the ball 45 times a game, I don't like it.
No, you know what? No. He's not one of those throw the ball. If you look, all the games that he had 500 and 600 yards is because we was coming from behind.
Well, that's
most of the time.
That's anybody,
and they was empty calories.
It's not empty calories because you came back and you're either winning or you're putting your team in position to win. But the bottom line is, I know Dak can sling the rock, right? But I'm just going off of how I think you could win long term, and it's not throwing the ball 45, 50 times with Dak. I don't think that's the case. I do think we need to be more balanced. He's better when we are balanced. That's just a fact.
100%, 150%. I agree. All right, Sky, I'm going to send you some donations, man. Keep doing your thing. I'm going to keep tuning in. I love your show. I love your input. I love that there's no Skittles and rainbows on your show, my brother. Let's go.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, here's what we're going to do. The phone lines then snapped on me. I don't even think I'm going to be able to get to everybody. We're going to make these last two picks and make them quick, and then I'll get back into a few guys here. I had Nacho on hold, set it off Chris. I definitely want to get to y'all, and that's probably going to do it. So the overwhelming favorite here, this might be the only BPA pick we really did, was Shakir. 41%. The Cowboys are going to select, if I can find him. Oh, on defense. Khalil Shakir, double dip. Interesting. I think we got one more, but what I'm gonna do with this pick, I think we just gonna pick it. We got one more. Oh, no, we don't have one more. I thought the Cowboys had 2 fourth-round picks. All right, here's the draft. Kenyon Green, Sky Moore, Channing Tindall, Khalil Shakir. The Shakir pick is obviously BPA, but I don't think they would double dip. I don't think they'd go Sky Moore and Shakir here. Man, you got a lot of play. So now you're looking at, I don't think about it long term. You're looking at Lamb, Gallup, Sky Moore as your top 3. Shakir, I mean, think about this for a second. Ced Wilson came from Boise State. Now, he was drafted in the 6th round, but he was your wide receiver 4 for a long time until somebody got hurt. So, listen, from a offensive standpoint, weapon standpoint, that's fun. Sky Moore, Shakir, Gallup when he comes back, CeeDee Lamb, that's fun. From what we need in this draft, I don't think you should double dip at wide receiver in the top with your top 4 picks. But you got your offensive line help. Tindall, I would have loved to get a DT there if we could, or one of the better linebackers that I like. That pick will probably get scrutinized from Cowboys Nation. But yeah, this is an interesting draft. I like the Tindall pick is the only one I probably won't be like screaming for or whatever. But the other ones, Shakir, Moore, Green, I really like those guys a lot, and I would be very happy with those 3. And then I have to see what's up with Tindall, how they would use them. And I would lean on my guy, Professor O and Patrick Walker. Those guys are big time Bulldog fans. So that's the draft, Cowboys Nation. That is the 4-round interactive mock draft that we did for those that may be popping in and saying, what the hell is this? What's going on? Each week leading up to the draft, we do an interactive mock draft, meaning we take 3 players on the board, put them in the poll, the chat votes for them, and we take that player. Josh says he was 5th. Okay, my bad. So Ced was a 5th round pick. So I mean, even closer, right? 4th round, 5th round, even closer. Shakir will be your Wilson replacement. That's how I feel. He says cut Washington, snag it out. Don't cut Washington. Like let me just say this, because I think some people might have a wrong impression of how I feel about Washington. I think Washington is better than Ced Wilson. I think his ceiling is higher. Do I think he's a difference maker of sorts? That he has to show me. But I think he can come in and at the very least give you what was left in regards to Ced Wilson. Now, is he a wide receiver too? That's to be seen. I'm not really comfortable saying that just yet. Another thing that he got to show me. But Washington's a good pickup. It's a 1-year rental. You're not really keeping him here long term. But Washington's not a bad player. But it's not a player that moves the needle either. Professor, I like Tindall, but I don't love him. He's a great athlete. Process is slow. Never started a game for UGA. Took 4 years to really get meaningful playing time. And I didn't include him in yesterday's top 5. Now, if we did a 10, I would have put him probably in there, but he would have been on my back end. He's a guy that, cool, if you get him in the 4th round, great, but I like a lot of linebackers in that 3rd round. Well, I don't know about that. We didn't look at the board there, but what we did yesterday, I would like a lot of linebackers. Yeah, you're not cutting Washington unless I'm not doing that. All right, let me get to set it off, Chris, and then Nacho, man. We get it out of here.
What's up, champ?
What's good, brother?
Hey, man, everything's everything. Just listening always, man. Fire content as always, man. I'm sorry for the echo. I'm in the elevator.
You good.
Yo, man. Hey, this draft is so funny, and I know it's a couple weeks away, but I think your biggest kick to this thing is you're going to have to make a draft day trade, and that's got to be apparent. And you got to maybe look at doing like you said with Chenault. I think that's a huge move that could move the needle, because every time you do one of these drafts, especially like when me and Brandon do it over Frankie Football, man, you're just in a really crazy spot.
Yeah.
With getting at 24 and what you need, because you haven't address anything in free agency. But I'm kind of like listening to everybody, and I think how the narrative is shift, because correct me if I'm wrong, last year at this time we had 3 number 1s, right? Is that what we were always saying? We had three number
Yes.
ones with Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb.
Yep.
So my question is, in less than a 12-month span, we're really down to what? No, we don't have a number one and all this kind of stuff. What is that about, bro?
No. I'm with you. I think it's ridiculous to think that CD Lamb is not a top end wide receiver, your number one wide receiver. The other conversation that you could have that I can get behind is that you lost your best wide receiver. That's a different conversation. Like I feel like Cooper was our best wide receiver, but that doesn't mean that CD Lamb can't be the number one wide receiver. He's got all that talent inside of him to be so. So you go from 3, what a lot of people were saying, I don't view Gallup as 1, but some people were saying that, to now 1 and a possible, right? Because Gallup's really not going to be there.
We playing spades, and we don't even know if that queen going to be able to walk. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. Just don't understand that queen going to walk, and now all of a sudden, now Dak goes from being elite, as he was last year, in my opinion, top 5, top 7, back half of the season, he probably dropped to the middle of the pack because of being injured and this, that, and the third, to being to a point he can't get the job done. It's just so many different swaying narratives because I think as a fan base, they got worse and they didn't bolster on a 12-5 record. But if you had to go play a game today, you've got enough players to go play the game. You're not going to play well, but you're going to play the game.
Sure.
So I left this out yesterday with you and Vacho on year 3 guys, and me and Brandon going to talk about it a little bit more too. This is just not a huge year for this draft, but it's a huge year for some year 3 guys, and what they do will help really put you to the point you forget about some guys who you were so worried about. From your first cousin to Neville Gallimore.
Hey, add year 2 guys, bro. Add year 2 as well. I think the 2021 draft class, we talked about this weeks ago, is going to have to play hugely at this rate.
I think they just got to take. I think they just got to take the next step. The question, figure Mike. We're afraid of what Micah could be year 2 because if Micah goes from what he did year 1 to year 2, he could probably be defensive player of the year.
100%, yep.
What Osa can do, what Neville having this will be his 3rd year, but it'll be his 3rd year him fully playing because he only got like 6 games. I think your year 2 and year 3 guys, all of those guys are gonna have to pan out and play more significant minutes to the point you'll say, hey, we didn't miss as much stuff. Yeah, you're gonna miss Randy. Randy was a different type of cat. If he wasn't a different type of cat, you wouldn't have tried to give him $70 million.
Right.
So, cut that mess with that. Don't try to sell me that he was just no, he wasn't. He was a $70 million cat. You tried to get cute, it backfired in your face. So be it. But you're not gonna give up enough to get Karlaftis or anybody like that. So if you stay at 24, you're kind of in the guys we have here have got to come through type deal, man. And that's we're gonna beat our head against the wall trying to figure out what this front office is gonna do. But I think that's the biggest thing as content creators and as the Cowboys fan nation. What are the year 2, year 3 guys are gonna do? Where they project to in filling out this roster, so that when you get this plentiful draft of all these guys who are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round guys, what's gonna happen? Because where you're at, if you try to trade up, you're stuck. If you trade back, you're going to go away from a really, really good player.
Well, it depends who's on the board, but I think that's the better way to go is to go back so you can accumulate more picks to fill these spots.
Yeah, I mean, but see, the thing about with going back, how much does somebody – who are you trading away from that you're going to fall back and you're going to be able to get that kind of value? Yeah. How are you going to get that kind of value?
Yeah, who's on the board and how far you go back matter. But if I had to pick of the 2, 10 times out of 10, well, I'll say 9 because there's that one time there might be a guy I like. But 9 times out of 10, I'm moving back to get more picks. And we talk about this a lot because they have not only holes to fill immediately, they've got long-term holes to fill as well. And that's what the draft is about for them is, right, long-term output.
Yeah, I mean – that's it. I just believe if you fill one of those holes with a draft day need,
I think it changes the whole perspective of your board. I walking into coming out May 1, and you look if you had Lamb, your draft pick, a Chenault or somebody like that, and Washington, your life feels a lot better. If you walk out on May 1, you got Schultz, a Woods, a Rucker, or somebody, you're not having this kind of, up in the whole house is on fire. If you go May 1 and you can get a wide receiver and get a serviceable guard with, if you don't get Green, you don't get Johnson, if you don't get Eddie Ingram, if you don't get somebody like that, you're going to have to fill two spots. And the problem is where you're drafting, you're going to miss out on some spots because nobody wants to go in the second round and get an injured guy that's not going to come back until Gallup gets back.
And that's why I say trading back is the best way to go, because now you have an extra pick to fill that spot. That's really the only way that I think you're going to feel comfortable coming out of the first three picks, because you got more than just 3 spots you need to take on, whether it be a starter or depth, and you can't get them all in the first 3 rounds. So I've said this a bunch. There's going to be a position that you're going to ignore between picks 24 and 88. It just is. It is what it is, because you don't got enough picks in the top 100 to address them all.
That's true. That's true. Or, like we said before, those second and third year guys, somebody's going to have to surprise you. Somebody's going to have to be this year's Terrence Steele to surprise the heck out of you to say, damn, I didn't see that in him, and him come out and play like that. That's what you got to see this year.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate you. My damn screen don't went off.
Always, man. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, bro. And I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you on the back line. And I gotta ask you a question about nephew, man. I gotta ask you something about him.
All right, hit me up.
No doubt, dude. We'll talk later.
Yes, sir. Fix this. Good question here by somebody on Facebook. Let me get to it as I fix my TV here. Where'd you go? There you go. Lauren, Michael, quick question. If you were playing against Dallas or game planning against the Cowboys, what area would you attack? I know I would. What I would do, I would throw at Anthony Brown all day, every day. I would obviously go after AB, and I'd run the ball. As we currently stand right now, your interior is pudding. No offense to Osa and Neville. Neville's kind of got to get it back for me. Osa, I told y'all, I put the pressure on Osa. That's my year 2 guy. I think was going to take that massive leap. But if Mike has to come down, he's not in that middle, right? If Mike has to, he's get flanked out for whatever reason, you're motioning somebody, that middle pretty soft, man. So I would run at him, use some speed guys, and go at AB. Yeah, sure. That's how I would tackle him. If we're talking defense, right? We're just talking defense. Somebody else has something to say here. I cannot find it. Oh, Dave, don't trade out the first round. Yeah, I don't want to trade out the first round, but we can trade down a little bit if we can. If we can, we can. What's my Twitter? At Skywalker Steel. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It used to be because Cowboys. They changed it to Skywalker Steel. All right, man. Let me get to. I got you 206. I think it's Marv. I'm gonna get the Nacho real quick and then Marv, and we are done. I promise y'all. What's up, Nacho?
Man, Scott, how we doing, my man?
Good. We doing good, man.
Good stuff. We do good stuff. So,
thank you.
So real quick, I've been a little bit out and about and busy on the go. But on one note, if the frustration is that of the fan base, it only just says that we have passion. We have passion and we care. We have passion and we care. So that's a good thing. In terms of what we should have done, we didn't do, or we haven't done yet in terms of free agency. That like you were alluding to earlier, like Calais or something like that. I'm with you 100%. I think we need those kind of key acquisitions to go along with what we're going to do on the draft. But that being said, if Steven is saying that they're not done with free agency, okay, so then let's go ahead and see what's going to happen between now and before the draft, or are we going to detail everything after the draft and do what we need to do? On your draft, I kind of was overhearing a little bit Shakir. I like him as well. I like him as a potential 3rd or 4th round pick, kind of somewhere in the middle rounds, if that's what we do. But I'm hearing a lot of, I think right now this is probably by far one of those drafts that is kind of intriguing in that maybe in the past we've kind of had a go-to or a name that we specifically are targeting. Yet this draft just seems like it's kind of wide open in terms
It is
of
because when you're
which
sitting at
direction we might go.
24, when you're sitting at 24, you're at the mercy of the board. It's different when you're picking at pick 10.
Yes.
You can literally, because of the quarterback situation, we narrowed it down to like 3 to 4 players, and it was very easy. There are way too many options at 24 that could happen for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking that, at sitting at 24, pending on what we do, whether we sit and take the player pending on what happens in front of us, or we move up a couple notches because we've identified, or we move down and accumulate, as you've been saying, and then kind of move up in the second or third. I think it's just building up to just be an exciting thing of what they're going to do. The only hope I can have, and me being the optimistic person all the time, is that they have a game plan and they've identified. I've only heard, I don't know if you've heard as well or not, or what we know, but I've heard 2 players up to now that if they do move up in the draft, there are 2 players that are very high on their board, and I'm hearing Cross and I'm hearing Davis as potential move up worthy type of players. And I thought, okay, I can live with that if that is the case. And then, of course,
in closing, brother, in closing,
if we go in closing, if we go O-line, let's say the popular names, right? The Zion Johnsons, the Greens, or I like Linderbaum. If we do that route first, then go get me maybe Pickens in the second round. Hey, I'm good, and then we can go ahead and just patch everything else up. So I'll leave you with that thought, and but good stuff. I think it's exciting. I can't wait for next week. And hey, listen, thank you, and just love your show, love what you do. I hear about it, and I had to just kind of chime in a little bit. So
thank you
much. Have a great day, man.
You too, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, you get me Green and Pickens, I don't give a damn what they do. I'm to be honest with you. I don't care what they do the rest of the draft. I understand we still need a linebacker. We still need defensive tackle. Hell, we need a game kicker. But Green and Pickens, I think they're going to be really good players. A wide receiver is that weird need to me because technically you got 2, but you really only got 1 for like the first month, but the other one's coming back. So I really wonder how they view it. And we can get a little bit of intel about who they brought in for the 30 visits. Olave, Drake London, Traylon Burks. So they are interested in one of those guys early. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take him. All right. Marv, close us out, dog. What's up?
What's up, family? How you been doing?
I'm good, man. Pretty live show today. A little longer than usual, but it was a good one.
I know. I came in the last minute, so let me get on there. I saw those guys on there. So let me talk to my family. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I want that in the second round. I know y'all like Pickens and all them guys, but I want to be like we supposed to back in the day when we had the chance to get Randy Moss. Nah, I'm going for the North. What's the 6'5" guy to run a 4.3?
Christian
4.2?
Watson.
That's what I want. I don't want nobody else because I want to burn. I want that speed burner to scare the hell out of all them corners because he would take the top off, and that's going to open it up for Washington, CeeDee Lamb. Yes, that's what I want. I don't want –
So you're comparing them to Moss because of the size and speed, not necessarily the skill, right?
Yes.
So
he's going to get better.
So your number one thing you want is speed, right?
I want that speed. I want a burner.
So why
make
not?
Them do...
Because I don't think Watson is an overall better prospect than George Pickens. But if you want speed and you want it kind of early, right, first 2 rounds, if Chris Olave is your guy.
Baylor?
No, Taquan Thornton's later.
Taquan
Thornton's late.
Yeah, he's fast too from Baylor, the 6'2" guy.
Yeah,
he was killing people.
So you're looking for big speed, like 6'3", 6'4", plus they run a 4.3 type stuff.
Yes, he finally needs that to really take the top off, and because he's gonna get better. and
so
everybody panicking.
What
but
if
I'm not panicking.
So what if I told you this, Marv? You may not like this.
Mhm.
What if I said you got that guy on your roster already?
We do.
Semi Falco.
Federico.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do.
6'4", he
You're
ran
right.
a 4.35. I'm not saying he's better prospect than Christian Watson. What I'm saying is just going off of your traits, you want that tall, fast guy. You're not necessarily looking for the well-rounded wide receiver. And I'm not saying Watson can't be that. I think he's going to be good depending where he goes for like a lot of these wide receivers. But I don't know if that will happen because of the place that he played in, unless he transferred. Y'all can let me know. I don't know about Christian Watson's backstory because the Cowboys drafted Jabril Cox out of North Dakota State, but that's because he was an LSU. He didn't draft him out of North Dakota State. He went to North Dakota State, then went to LSU. So they don't normally go for the pure Will McClay doesn't, for the pure small school guy. So that'll be interesting.
Danny Gray is fast too now.
Yeah, another one. Austin, but
From
he's smaller.
SMU.
But he's smaller.
You could get him in the 5th round. He's 6'2", Danny Gray.
And I believe they went to his pro day.
Yeah, he's fast. Hey, I'm telling you something. Both of them receivers from the SMU fast. We're going to be shocked. They're going to draft 2 receivers. I'm telling y'all. It's going to get 2 receivers drafted, 2 linebackers drafted, and a D tackle.
Hey, Marv.
I tell you.
We got 2 receivers in this draft. We got Sky Moore and Khalil Shakir in our mock draft. Would that make you happy?
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's going to be, and we ain't going to have no excuse. But I'm going to tell you something. In the 3rd round, you could get that guard from Oklahoma, number 54.
Marcus Hayes.
He kills you. Yes, a beast. So everybody talking about the first one. Them guys green is not that better than him. Y'all got to get out of this first round jump because a lot of these players stayed an extra year because of COVID. So that's why the draft. And you make good sense, Scott. I do not want to move up. I'm trying to get all them picks so I could build my team. Because some of them people that we drafted is going to be studs. Watch what I tell you. And I'm telling you.
And close.
Y'all got to stop crying over the receiver that left in Miami.
Said?
Washington. Yeah. Everybody acting like Said is Randy Mouse or somebody. Man, get out of here with that stupid stuff.
Hey, Marv, you need to filter.
Always have a receiver.
You need to filter.
Have a receiver.
You need to filter who you listening to or reading. Because if anybody's up in arms about losing Said, they doing it wrong.
I know. Because I'm telling you. And you said it, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, Washington is going to have almost 1,000 yards receiving. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. He picking his chops. He out there with dudes. Dudes telling them the whole culture of the Cowboys. This dude. And you got to remember, hey, Scott. We finna lose some more players. I'm finna tell the Cowboys fans. The guy gonna have a big year. He gonna have a big year. You guys gonna be crying because Stephen A. is not gonna sign him because they come there to get them contracts. I'm sorry, guys. Even with Dante Father, he may have 10 or 12 sacks, but we ain't gonna be able to keep him because they gotta sign our DB, our linebacker, and our receiver. Sorry, Cowboys fans. We finna lose 3 or 4 more players again. So that's why they got a draft in this draft.
We got to hit Marv. Hey, appreciate the call as always, Marv.
All right, Sam.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm not losing sleep over Said Wilson, especially because they replaced him with Washington. If they didn't do that though, they didn't bring in a Washington. Michael Gallup's hurt. It'd be even worse at the receiver position. But I'm good. Said had a good year. I like Said. I do. I like him as a person and I like him as a player. But I always say this about Dak Prescott, and a lot of people get on Dak. When it comes to getting new wide receivers, I saw him with no practice really get Amari Cooper. Boom, they connected. Randall Cobb. They didn't play previous years. Turned Randall Cobb's career around. One season. Boom. So now we get a James Washington who has that Randall Cobb type of ability in the sense of Smaller guy, can play slot, can play outside, can do different things for you. I think he's tough. I think James Washington can replace Cedric Wilson. I don't think I don't think I'm going out on a limb with that one there. I don't think I'm going out on a limb with that one. Cedric Wilson is cool, but what are we? Because I don't want to turn this into a Ced Wilson bashing moment, but like, are we sure that he's better than James Washington? I don't think so. I think James Washington has a higher pedigree. He was more productive in a worse situation, but he was more productive a couple years ago. And now he comes to a team that has a better quarterback. So I think James will be fine. Sam says Sky's very analytic. What happened, Sam? What's going on in the chat? Jared, Semi will definitely get some minutes this year. Yeah, I'm sure he will. He talked about the hybrid role. And Eazy-E, somebody brought up Eazy-E out of Texas Tech. That's a guy that I am very high on too. When I say high on, let me say that. I like that cat. Get him in day 3. That'd be great. All right, wow. What a show. Usually the mock draft shows go a little bit longer. Explosive show. Passion was there. Kyle Phillips. Somebody asked me earlier, did I take a look at Kyle Phillips? I did take a look at Kyle Phillips, and I do like him as a slot guy. I just wanted to get that out the way. Where'd you take him? That's day 3 type of guy to me. But nonetheless, man, 1 week away, starting tomorrow from the draft. I am excited for that. We'll finally get some fresh faces in here, fresh things to talk on. We can move beyond, as long as Steven don't open his damn mouth anytime soon. We can move beyond that crap and try to find ways these guys will fit. Oh, okay. Appreciate it, Samuel. Appreciate it. I wasn't sure if he was going back and forth in the chat with anybody. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. Appreciate the donations. In fact, let me just make sure I didn't miss any. Where's that link? Sometimes I do that, y'all. My bad. And if you're celebrating today's date, go out and celebrate, man. Have a good time. Yeah? For some people, this is just a regular day. That's all I'm going to say. I know my lady in the chat shaking her damn head right now. All right, let me make sure. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're cool. We got all the donations. All right. Wow, great. Good show. Make sure on your way out, hit this like button. Share this thing if you haven't shared it with your friends, families, and foe. And subscribe. It's free. It don't cost you a lot. Make sure you tune in later tonight. Mauricio Rodriguez will be here live, A to Z Sports Prime Time. Hit up A2ZSportsDallas.com for all your news and updates. And let's thank our sponsors, Texas Family Fitness, Freeman Mazda Hyundai, and Worth the Poor. Good stuff today. Loved y'all in the chat. Run this thing back. That's right. We out of here. Peace. Shout out to Professor O, the Mod God.
Get your damn act together.